Echo. Play Avant, make good love.
And oop.
So, some previous notes from our last episode. How I said goodbye to Carolyn was I woke up 3:45 a.m., took out the trash, scooped Frankie's poop, did everything that a man should do to take care of his homestead. And then when I said goodbye, she was still sleeping, and I drove myself to the airport. So I bury my head to her head, like in her neck and arm and head area. And I said, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you, I love you, I love you. Love you, love you, love you, love you. And that's how I said goodbye to my woman. Speaking of the airport, I hiked it from economy parking. So I didn't want to pay and I didn't want to wait for the shuttle. And I parked in a close area. It wasn't like I wasn't like practically in Woodland, but I parked and I was like, I'm just gonna walk it, and it took about 10 minutes. And it was dark, but it's not like I'm walking in the mean streets of downtown Sacramento or West Capitol Avenue in the middle of the night. It's dark, but it's safe, and there's not randos wandering around. So, but it was a little bit of a hike at 4:30 in the a.m. The TSA, they don't make you take off your shoes no mo. The process is still a dehumanizing cattle call, but it's just a little more pleasant. And then the Vietnamese restaurant that we went to, they bring us our food, and of course, they bring me chopsticks, and I have to ask for a fork because I am not 100%, 100%, 100% Vietnamese. And so when I ask for a fork in any Vietnamese restaurant, they always SMDH, shake their head back and forth, look at the ground, are overcome with disappointment, and they hand me the fork of shame. And it's really it's embarrassing at this point in my life as a 48-year-old half Vietnamese man, but I just I can't do chopsticks. I can't ice skate. Even though Carolyn promised me she was going to teach me how to ice skate / roller skate some 7 years ago in the beginning of our torrid love affair. But I have to ask for fork. And yes, I bring disgrace upon my forefathers from Vietnam, but that's just how I do. Hey, chat, how are you? Sighs like a nearly 49-year-old would sigh. So we're at the Sammy's Woodfire Pizza. My mom wants to take a picture, and I said, okay, but no body picture. Okay, just from the chest up. So we're in a booth. Grandpa Curtis is on one side. Me and my mom are sitting next to each other on the other side. And Grandpa Curtis grabs the telephone, a camera, and so I'm like, okay, hold on. Let me get some push-ups in. Let me flex my pectoralis majoris during this photography session. But first off, he was way too up close. Like, I was like, okay, Grandpa Curtis, take a picture of us. And then he would move his arms and the telephone like a foot away from my face. I'm like, no, go away, go away. I felt like Leonardo DiCaprio coming out of the nightclub at 3 a.m. and paparazzi everywhere. I'm just trying to get home and get with a 25-year-old gal, Victoria's Secret model. Leave me alone, leave me alone. No pictures, no pictures. So I was like, okay, back off, keep going back, keep leaning back. I lean back, I lean back. And took a few pictures. My mom, just like me, I am my mother's son. We were like, ooh, we were both hated several of the pictures. Delete, delete. I don't like this about me. I don't like that about me. Oh, it's a lot of self-esteem going on. But one picture, my mom and I were close, and my neck muscles were protruding. My arm veins were a popping. I lift. I'm really strong. And I was like, okay, I will share this to the Insta. I will publish it to the gram, as the kids say. My birthday cake, well, we were at Vaughn's, and my mom goes, "All right, well, let's check the clearance section for cake." And it's a back area where right next to the employees entrance, couple shelves with heavily discounted merch there, and there was no cake. So what did she get me? She got me some cookies, some birthday cookies on clearance, white chocolate raspberry. Normally 2 cookies for $3, which is a freaking ripoff if you ask me. I mean, they're just normal cookies, and you can buy 20 of them from Chips Ahoy for the same amount of money of dollars. Uh, but it was fine. But it was on sale 2 for 99 cents. So big discount, big bargain. And it was fine. I like white chocolate raspberry. In the end, I'm a oatmeal raisin kind of girl, but it was fine. And then when we did the whole birthday celebration, my mom put a candle in the cookie, and the cookie is about a quarter-inch thick and an eighth inch thick. And so this candle was like about to fall over because there was nothing to hold it up. And my mom's like, blow it out, hurry up, hurry up. I was like, okay, simmer down. They sang, Grandma Tian and Grandpa Curtis sang happy birthday to me. It was lovely. I felt really special. When it comes to singing, there are no Liz and Alan Fisher, but that's like comparing an amateur keyboardist to the curly hair guy in Bon Jovi. But they did a fine job. We went to Costco, as my mom pronounces Costco. She likes to get tofu and walnuts there. And Costco is really where our relationship hits the peak, the zenith, the nadir, or is nadir the downslope? I don't know. It's where our relationship, the mother son, we bond and become one. So I grabbed this bag of chips, right? Shrimp chips specifically, and shrimp chips, they fry them, and they're like pork rinds. So they're really big, but they're really light. So like the bag of shrimp chips is comically big. Like it's like the size of from your belly up to your chest. It's huge because they put these little things in frying oil, and it blows up. But it's super light because there's just not much density to it, not much weight. But I grabbed this bag of shrimp chips, and my mom starts talking smack about it. This is junk. Who eats this? This is bad. This is crap. And then she would hold up the bag and look at the nutrition label. Look at all these calories. Look at all these carbs. Look at all this salt. And I was like, okay. I just want a shrimp chips for my birthday. And yes, it's a giant bag, but it's really light. And this is gonna make me happy. But oh my gosh, the entire Costco trip, this is junk food. This is crap. I don't buy this stuff. Who eats this stuff? I was like, okay. This is why we didn't get the triple dipper. This is why I didn't. Grandpa Curtis didn't want to go get the triple dipper because he lives in fear. But eventually she caved, and she purchases it, and we're on our way out, and she says, when I get home, can I have some? And I said, you were talking smack for the past 45 minutes about these dang shrimp chips, and now you want some. Okay, Mom. And you know what? She ate some. She enjoyed them, probably riddled with guilt. I loved them. They were fantastic, greasy and shrimpy and chippy. My favorite qualities in a snack, but it was quite the deal. For my birthday, my mom got me a gift card, $250 gift card to Costco, or they call it a shop card, but same difference. I asked for 300. I wanted 300. My mom was like, "No, you think I'm a millionaire? You think, well, actually, the Zestimate of your home is 1.8, Mom." Oh, but she her cabinets are old, so it's only 1.6. But you literally are a millionaire, Mom. Just saying. But she wouldn't cave to the $300. She got me a $250 shop card, which is fabulous. But if I was skinny, if I worked at Cisco as an engineer, and if I married a Vietnamese woman, I would have nabbed that $300 Costco shop card, which went to our new washer, by the way. Walking around Costco, we go to the one in Poway. I wish I'd seen someone from high school. Hopefully they aged poorly, i.e. worse than me. I don't want to run into someone who looks great and has had a glow up from high school. But if they look old and haggard and gained a ton of weight, bring it on. Introduce me. Hey, Ryan, how are you? Oh, you look great. Not. But if it was Ryan Larson and he looked fabulous and he came up to me and said, hey, Vince, what's going on? I've been like, who? Ryan? Doesn't ring a bell. Vince? No. My name is Ricardo Cervantes, and I've never met you in my life. Get out of here. Leave me alone. Some random notes, ideas, observations, hot takes. I love walking in from the garage into my parents' garage door leads right into the kitchen. I love walking through that door and seeing my mom. It's just, I'm so happy and I want to hug her. And it's just, I feel like I'm home, even though I don't call it home anymore. But it's an indescribable feeling of seeing my mom doing her thing in the kitchen. And I know this time is precious and it's getting less and less as we both age. But there's nothing like walking in and just feeling love towards my mom, and she's happy to see me, and she'd be happier if I weighed less. But anyways, but just hanging out, the CNBC is blasting, Grandma Tien ranting about how Grandpa Curtis doesn't do jack shit around the house, and then she turns her ire to Americans who are fat and lazy and eat things like shrimp chips. I'm like, life is good. This is home. This is my mom. This is my DNA. This is who I love. This woman is a part of me. And there's nothing like it. I ordered some flushable wipes to my parents' house because they don't have flushable wipes. They don't know about them. My mom doesn't want to spend money on them. They don't care. But I ordered 3 packs of flushable wipes from Walmart.com, shipped right to their house, and I use them. I want to get a squatty potty over there too. That would be the ultimate. But yeah, from Walmart.com, or as my mom pronounces it, Walmart. I do that whenever I visit. A couple days ahead, I'm like, Mom, there's gonna be some wipes headed your way. That'll be delivered to you, and that's how she knows. That's the sign that I'm actually serious about coming and I'm on my way when the wipes show up. I didn't brush my teeth. I should have brought a toothbrush. My breath was hot. It was rank at some points. But I just didn't bring the toothbrush. I also didn't shower, but I did a Oklahoma shower for my plane friends. Oklahoma showers when you just change your undies, your chonies, your underoos. And I did it for my plane friends because I feel like more should be said about people on the plane. Like you're together, you come together, and for instance, San Diego, you go on this traumatic event. I call it flying in the air in 35,000 feet in a metal tube. And you act perfectly natural, like, no big deal. But then you end up in Sacramento, like, we just made it through this tumultuous event together. Let's be friends. So I pulled the Oklahoma shower with my plane friends in mind. I just didn't want to be super musty for them because I'm a considerate kind of bro. You guys are my boys in San Diego to Sacramento, and let's keep in touch. Let's never forget each other. Let's never forget this today what we had, the hour in the air that we flew together. I spread some soil. My mom had this bag of soil or dirt or mulch. I don't know. But she said that bag of soil has been sitting there. It was on the ground in their backyard for 3 years. And I was like, okay, I'll spread it, I guess. And I poured it out of the bag around a tree, and the task done, mission accomplished. Also helped make my mom's bed. She's an older gal, okay, a little slower getting around. So she was on one side of the bed, I was on the other, and she was like, "Pull it tight, pull the sheet tight, tuck it in well, all this stuff." And it was really like full circle. Although I rarely made my bed as a kid, but at some point I made my bed, and at some point my mom helped. So it's a full 360. I vacuumed from 500 miles away, so we got the robot vacuum, Eufy, EUFY, and it's on the Wi-Fi, and I control it from an app on my cellular telephone. And so Carolyn was like, "Can you run the vacuum? The kitchen, there's a few crumbs in the kitchen." I was like, "No problem." Boop, 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 zhoo. And I vacuumed the kitchen from 500 miles away. Technology, it's crazy. My parents are the only people on the planet who still watch broadcast linear television. I'm talking about the national news, and then proceeds to transition into the local news, or as my mom pronounces it, the new. That's how she prepares. That's how she prepares. Like, the news is on, I need to get to the remote control to turn on the television, to turn it to channel 8 or 10 or 6 or KUSI 51, which is the right wing local station down there. But yeah, she's still watching national news, and then the local news. And I remember growing up, before she would turn it on, all the new Vince, the new Van, the new, and that's how I knew the news was coming on. That's how I got my love of news from her. And then now that I'm old and I don't care, I'm not into news anymore. Things are gonna happen. It doesn't affect me, so why get upset about it? Why get agitated? Why care? And my parents are still watching network broadcast television. America's Got Talent. Overheard them talking about this singer and that dancer and yada yada yada. But it's America's Got Talent is where they come together and no longer go back and forth trading insults to each other. And they also like Survivor and World's Greatest Race, Amazing Race. Although sometimes that airs past 9 p.m. and that's when Grandma Tien goes to bed. But yeah, you're talking about the Netflix shows and the Hulu shows and the Prime and the Max and Peacock and yada yada yada. No, my parents are still talking about analog television. My mom needed her password, right? She's like, "Hey, can you download a pedometer, a step counter for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, no problem." And I hop on her telephone. I'm like, "Oh, Mom, you need your Google Play password." And she's like, "We gotta wait till we gotta wait till we get home, and I have it at home." And I was like, "All right." Get home, and she proceeds to fetch this tiny little notebook thingy, and with passwords written on various pieces of paper uh, in this trapper keeper, if you will, miniature trapper keeper. And so she allegedly finds her Google Play password, and she types it in, and it says, "No, this is the wrong password. This is the incorrect password." And she tries it a few times. She's like, Google. That's how she pronounces Google. Google messed up my password. I'm like, "Mom, what is more likely to happen? What has a higher chance of happening? Uh, you writing down an incorrect password from 17 years ago, or Google not having your purported correct password?" Think about that one. So she went through the password reset process, which we all hate. And but yeah, she wrote her new password in this little journal, this little diary, password diary, and I guess that's where she keeps her passwords. Um, I got coffee 2 mornings in a row, but I didn't go to Starbucks. I didn't go to Pete's. I go to the gas station because it's just cheaper there, and you can customize it to whatever the heck you like, however the heck you want. So I go to the gas station, and it's crazy the coffee that you literally pour yourself and pour whatever creamer and non and syrup and all that crap. You can customize it, make it to your heart's content. It's always cheaper than Starbucks and Pete's and coffee tea bean leaf or CBTL, whatever it is. Um, so both times it was about $2 each, and that was in the morning. I would come home with my cup of Joe, and my mom said, "How much did that cost? $5, $6?" I said, "No, $2, because I went to that gas station and I poured it myself, and it's always much cheaper." I think I scored some brownie points with Grandma Tien there. Grandma Tien has handicap parking. She has the little sticker, the little placard you put on your mirror. So like we go to Costco, I'm like, oh my gosh, there's no parking. Whoop! Lo and behold, handicap parking right up front. It's nice. It's nice driving around with that thing. Um, yeah, it's very, very convenient. And my mom, she needs it. She ain't cheating. She ain't lying. She's an older gal. She's slower now. But it's a nice thing to have that blue thing on your rear view mirror. I didn't drive when it was my mom hanging out, going out, whatever. I didn't drive because my mom, she freaks the heck out. Like she is a terrible passenger princess, and she just gets scared at every lane change, every signal light, or it just goes on and on. She's frightened of of other people driving. It's kind of like me in a plane when I'm flying from here to there. But yeah, she turns her head, she closes her eyes, she puts her leg up on where the glove compartment box is. It's a whole thing. I remember when I was a kid, and I'd be driving us somewhere, and the stoplight coming up, uh, and it would be green. And so what I'm going, and it's green, and it's fine. But she would start saying out loud, "Green can be yellow, green can be yellow, green can be yellow," essentially warning me that I might have to stop in the blink of an eye or something. Just being super cautious, super averse to risk, and to always be prepared to stop on a dime. But she would say, "Green can be yellow, green can be yellow, green," and I would say back, "Green can stay green, green can stay green, green can stay green." The tales of yesteryear, of youth when I was a young man. I wanted to take Grandpa Curtis to see Fantastic Four. Um, and there was only one showing because it's practically out of theaters now. Um, so I hop on the website or whatever. They got a Regal down there, Edwards, if you will, and it's a matinee. It's 11:10 a.m. A ticket $15 for a movie theater that's been open for at least a decade, 2 decades. And I think of Doco, where we go see our movies up in Sac, and it's a posh shopping destination, and that theater is hecka new, 5-ish years, definitely less than 10. Matinees are $12, so I'm like $15. Man, the cost of living in San Diego is crazy. Flying back, I got the B boarding pass because I forgot. I was supposed to check in at 8. I didn't check in until 8:06. So I got the B boarding group. But at least I didn't get C. If you're on Southwest in the C boarding group, it's practically a leper colony. Okay, you might as well just turn around and go home. But I did get poking around on Southwest's app. I did get a preview of next year when they start doing assigned seats. So if you buy your ticket, $100, let's say, whatever, then you pick your seat. This seat is $20. If you want this seat, it's $30. And obviously, the closer to the cockpit, the more expensive. But it's up to $50 for a specific seat, and then you can opt to not pick a seat. But then they're like, oh, we'll assign your seat day of, so you'll probably be in the back of the plane and get off at the very end. But I don't mind that. I'm not in a rush. Whatever. The TSA, they checked. I did the screening thing. They checked my midsection. The guy's like, "Can I check your midsection, sir? I'm gonna pat you down." And I was like, "Yeah, do your best, do your worst." And he rubbed me down the right way, if you know what I'm saying. And I said, "Will you buy me dinner first, sir?" But actually, what happened was, so on the way up, I went to the gate, and then I got confused by the screen and the app, and I was like, "Oh, I need to be in another section of the airport." So I had done the TSA thing, so I hike it back out, and then I'm going to the other part of the airport, which isn't a huge walk. It's just down the way a little. It's not bad. But then I look at the screen again. I look at the app. I'm like, oh, I was in the right place. So I had to go through TSA twice. Now, the first time I went through the regular metal detector where you have to put your hands up, and red alarms went off, and they had to pat me down or whatever, pat down my midsection. Uh, and the guy, he grabbed my shoes, and he was like, I need to put these through the scanner again. So he put them on the conveyor belt. And I was like, all right, calm down here, whatever. But the second time I was like, well, I don't want to do that again. So I went through the metal detector TSA screening, which is like what the average metal detector you see outside government buildings, courthouses, etc. Nothing, nada, green lights. I walked through. The guy was like, "Come on through. You're done. You're ready." I was like, "Okay, wow, this TSA thing, taking security seriously." On the way up, the weather was cloudy, but no rain. If it's rain for during my takeoff, I'll cancel. Okay, because I'm scared. I'm a scared sissy boy. And when we were flying from Boston to Binghamton, um, it was like we get on and it's like light rain, okay, whatever, cloudy. But by the time we took off, it was pounding rain. It was hecka windy. And when we took off, the plane was at 80 degrees uh, angle, and it was like that for 10, 15, 20 minutes, and I thought I was going to die the entire freaking time. uh on the plane, one of the overhead lights was on the fritz, so it was like a strobe light at a rave, and I said, "Get your pacifiers out, people." I didn't put my seat back, because who puts their seat back? It goes back like 2 degrees. Like, what the heck? Who even puts their seat back? And I was forgetting. I'm like, is it really that much difference in terms of comfort? Whatever. I mean, I was on a 737. It was old and busted, thus the overhead light, strobe light. And I thought I was going to die the entire time. I didn't drink any booze. I just held my fists, clenched them tight, thinking I'm going to die for an hour. But it's just an hour, right? So there was a window between me and the seat, the aisle ahead of me, and the window was like right in the middle. Like half the window was on my side of the seat, and then the other half was on the guy's side of the seat. And he closed it. Who are these people closing windows on planes? He closed it. I was like, okay, well, I still got a window here I can stare out of, but I wouldn't mind looking out that window once in a while, sir. But he closed it, and then he takes a nap. He has a jacket as a blanket, as a pillow, whatever. So he puts his jacket on this closed window. I'm like, you would have blocked the sunlight out with your stupid jacket. You didn't have to close the window, sir. But as far as other passengers, I keep my eyes on all of them. I monitor. I know who could be trouble and who not could be trouble. But I feel like Casey Haley in the hit Jodeci song "Come and Talk to Me." I I got my eyes on you. Yeah, that's right. Um, On the way back, I feel like the pilot put the flaps up way too early. Like, have you even played Afterburner on the Sega Genesis, sir? Sat next to a guy. Well, he wasn't right next to me. We had a buffer zone. We had a seat buffer between us, like the DMZ. But he was a handsome fella, young, couple tats, and he lifted. Oh yeah, he was in shape, and he was on a phone call before we took off. And he said, during this phone call, he said this phrase, "We need to streamline the process." And I was like, "Ooh, you fancy, you big time." It's 45 minutes till the descent begins. I watch my clock every second. I just stare at my clock because once the descent begins, I'm like, I'm not going to die anymore. Well, I still could die, but the chances went down by like 60%. Some people were loud AF, like they were yapping the entire time. I'm trying to listen to the engine here, people. I like being above the ground rather than being above the clouds. The clouds, being above clouds, 35,000, 40,000 feet in the air, I can't wrap my head around. But if I see ground, I see some farmland, some houses, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense to me. And if we crash, if we go down in a pile of flames, I'll say, hey, aim for the barn, boy. Got back, and who greeted me? Chloe, the neighborhood cat. Or is it Claire? I think we determined it's Claire. It was Claire who had the Chloe name tag. We got confused, and then the owner told us the correct that was Claire with Chloe's tag. And I was like, okay, identity crisis, anyone? That's why when Frankie Blue, when we got him, he had a little name tag that said Sophie, and we were like, well, what's up with this? And the owner, Frankie's previous owner, Leslie Benson, said, oh, that's his sister. And we were like, okay, well, what about Frankie? Frankie has an identity. Frankie is a person too. Frankie matters. After the visit, I gained 10 pounds, maybe 15. Well, let's call it 17, just between us. But I've already lost 7. Okay. Yeah. And it was a nice break from the day, but I miss Carolyn. I missed the kids. I missed Frankie Blue. I missed our home. I missed our bed. Overall, it was a lovely visit. My mom and I tussled here and there, but that's how we show our love to each other, or something. Nah, it was cool. Glad I did it. Might be back there in Mayish. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Alrighty. Well, I think I'm done. Take care. Brush your hair. Peace out. I'm Audi 5000 G Money. See ya later.